you know, not just being a singer-songwriter, just being, you know, techie savvy. You know, I could sit in front of, you know, with an engineer and tell him, hey, you know, pan this or compress this, or, you know, it's too muddy, or it's too, you know, and they're like, excuse me, you know, and it's pretty impressive. So I think that, you know, as an artist, if you're trying to be an artist out there, you should definitely like step your game up and educate yourself on creating a song, you know, through production and technical stuff like that.
That's definitely true.
Yeah,
Definitely true.
yeah.
So how did you meet Sophia?
Wow,
How did that
interesting story. Well, I still have a day job. I'm a legal assistant in a law firm, and she was the paralegal at another law firm that leases offices in my firm. And one of my colleagues who knew that I was into the music industry referred me to this woman. I'm like, yeah, you know, whatever, you know. And then I finally met her, and I think what drew me to her was just her spirit and her motivation. She has a positive attitude. Wow. She, you know, she has, like, if she has an idea, she dreams big, and that's how I dream big, and I think big. And we just basically took it from there. And since then, you know, I've been, you know, collaborating with her on a business level, you know, and entrusted her with, you know, guiding me in the right direction. Not that I can't guide myself, but just I needed some, you know, little assistance so I could focus on the musical aspect of things, and she could just sort of kind of just cover the ends for me. So that's how that came into place.
Well, it's always good to have a good manager backing you and someone that you can trust. So that's very important. And a lot of times, you know, being an artist, you want to make sure you have the right representation.
Right. Well,
so that's
yeah, I'm notorious for firing. I must have fired like 3 or 4 managers, and it just has to be a right fit. It has to be a chemistry with someone you're working with. Because if there's no chemistry and there's not either a meeting of the minds, it's not going to pan out. It's not going to work. So I just felt like she had the right, you know, vibe and the right chemistry, and she knows what I want. She knows what I don't want, and that's the way it's supposed to be, you know. So.
great.
Yeah.
So what are you working on? Are you working on anything new?
Wow, I'm working on a lot of writing projects right now. I got involved in this project with Vibe Records, Tim Olfey, who is the CEO and vice president of this company. There's this artist named Chachi, and she's going to be the first artist under Vibe Records. I also work with, again, various producers throughout New York and in the Midwest. Just songwriting, trying to get songs placed or sold. You know, so a little bit of this. And then I'm also working on my personal album, so I'm hoping to put something out by the spring. So I'm doing a little bit of this, a little bit of that, you know, just staying busy, being consistent, you know, which is important, and that brings to me a lot of joy, so.
That's very great.
Yeah.
Let's find out a little bit more about you.
Okay.
Tell us about yourself. What are some of the things you like to do? Let's get to know a little bit more about you, the artist.
Oh, wow. I mean, family is very important to me. I'm always, you know, that's just like my foundation, you know. But with regards to how I spend my time, to be honest, I'm just grinding every day. I mean, I work full-time. I took the semester off from school just to focus on this 100%. So I was working, going to school, and doing this music thing, coming home at 1 in the morning, 1:30 in the morning, getting up at 7, going to work, coming back out, going to school, going back, you know. So all I focus on is really just taking care of myself, health-wise, going to the gym, working out, and then also just feeding my mind, constantly practicing and enhancing my talents. You know, I stay listening to various artists. I stay writing. Right now, I'm, you know, practicing on the keys, learning my chords, you know, learning reasons now and stuff like that. So just really that's my thing. I don't hang out. You know, if I'm at a venue, I'm there to support another artist. I'm there to support a producer. I'm there to meet somebody. But I'm mainly just really working, and I love it because I want to give up the day job. I want to do this for a living. I want to do it because I love it. I mean, I'm not in it for the money, and eventually I'm going to get that reward. But for me, I just want to do it because it's a passion. It's something that I've invested. You know, I've invested a lot of time, many years in it, and it just won't go in vain. You know.
Well, you're very talented, and I've heard your music, and your writing, your lyrics. I'm just very touched by it.
Oh, thank you.
And sometimes I wonder, a lot of the songs that you write, it's just you're always sending a message.
Yeah.
So it's I guess what I'm trying to say is people really need to hear your music.
Right,
I
right.
really believe in it.
Right. Thank you.
And I think that you're sending a message, but you're also, I think it's therapeutic for yourself.
Right, right.
From your
like,
experiences.
right, right, right.
Am I right with that?
Yeah, you know, a lot of the songs I've written is based on personal experience. It could be based on other people's experience, but you know, I try to, with my songs, uplift and motivate. You know, I try to steer away from, you know, the standard, you know, whatever you hear on the radio that's so popular. I try to be unique in my own way, in my own form, so that way I stick out. You know, and I think that when people, not just because I could sing, I mean, there's millions of artists that could sing, there's millions of artists that could write. But when someone could write, when someone could relate to you, I get more pleasure when someone listens to my songs and they're like, oh man, you know, she's really telling my story, and I'm really telling my story, you know. So it's a blessing to be able to do that. That's like magical, you know. It's amazing.
Well, if you haven't heard Jay-Z's music before, you've got to hear her sing. We have a wonderful treat for you. I mean, she's awesome, and she's very, very talented. And before we're gonna have you do a song for us.
Yes, yes.
Do you want to tell us the song?
The song is called For You. It was produced by D. Moet, who's the producer on the track, and D. Moet has a history. He did the original song for Nas and worked with, you know, tons of artists like Foxy Brown and whatnot. And I wrote the song. It's basically about just pursuing whatever it is that you're pursuing in life, and not to give up regardless of what people say to you, you know, like, oh, I'm never gonna make, you're still doing this, or you're not gonna do, you know, you disregard that. It's just a positive message. It's just continue on the journey, don't quit, you know, and love what you do and aspire to be the greatest. You know, that's the thing for me.
All right, so don't change that channel. We'll be right back.